I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Oh, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Plaggio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond, as we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
Hey, we're out here today at Quincy Reservoir right in the town of Aurora. This is Troy Coburn. Troy, you're getting to be a regular on the show.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, well, you got me back into bass fishing. You know, this is how I got started in this whole mess in the first place, and I love bass fishing, but we haven't done as much lately. We have another special guest with us today, don't we?
We do.
And who is this? You want to introduce her?
This is my daughter, Ashley Coburn.
And are you the better fisherman than him?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. You know, that's a good, honest answer. You'll grow up, you'll learn to outgrow that. But you know, seriously, folks, what we want to show you is that there's quality fishing right in these urban fisheries that you don't always have to drive 2 or 3 hours or out of state to enjoy fishing. I mean, this is a little, how big is Quincy Reservoir?
160 acres.
160 acres, and it has largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, muskies, rainbow trout, yellow perch, and I mean, there's some tremendous fishing. Jason Potter's 40-pound state record muskie came out of this lake.
Yes, it did.
And we both know there's some bass in here that would push the 10-pound range.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just incredible. There's some good restrictions on it. It's electric motors only. You can't put a trailer in. So you see a lot of small boats like the small John boat from Crestliner we've got today, and you see a lot of belly boating and a lot of shore fishing, but it's just a quality fishery. So we're going to go out today. We want to try. You want to see if there's a surface bite right away.
We'll try.
All right. And then if that doesn't work, we'll probably go to finesse type plastics because the lake does get some pressure. Right. And it may take a little finessing to catch them, but there's catchable fish here, and we're going to take you out and show you can have a good time at an urban fishery, and we're going to go bass fishing with Troy Coburn.
Yeah, it's been more of a reaction bait, more of a reaction type of a strike.
You're working it all the way back to the boat?
I'll work it just around the cover for the most part. And then once you get about 5 to 10 feet away from the cover, just bring it back in. You're definitely relating to the brush piles.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to cast over you.
Why not?
Because I'm too nice a guy. There he is. I don't think it's a monster, but it's first fish of the day. On that new gulp. First time I fished with it. Little 4-inch worm type thing. Oh, it's a decent fish.
Uh-oh.
Let's see, well, decent fish on light spinning gear anyway. I'm fishing with light gear, so you know, that's a neat thing about fishing these urban lakes. They're pressured, so you end up fishing with light gear. So even an average fish gives you a heck of a fight. Come here, come here. Oh, just a nice solid fish. Decent though. I'll take fish like this any day. Oh, he's hooked good. Quincy Reservoir bass fishing. First fish of the day, nice solid fat chunky fish and a little gulp worm, which he totally destroyed. Nice healthy fish.
Yeah?
You know, the neat thing about urban fisheries like this, if people put and take the fish, I mean, if you just put the fisheries, you know, don't harvest the bass and let them swim. There's fishing like this for everybody to learn.
That's right.
They can grow up to be a big bass pro like you. You know, on Table Rock, you kicked my butt. So I got some getting even to do. First fish. Here we go. All right.
Get the boat back in position.
Yeah, well,
Did you cast that in that same generator?
That's the one. That's the one that hit. That's the one.
Yeah.
He had it come up and swap his surface bait, and I just followed with a plastic. You know, that happens a lot too.
It does.
A lot of times when I was fishing tournaments, and I'm sure you do the same thing, you have a finesse bait rigged, and when you get a blow up on a surface lure that misses, a lot of times you follow it with a piece of plastic and come right and hit it. But he's not getting any credit for that fish. It is
got it.
June in here in Colorado, and it should be about 80 degrees instead of 60.
You just said it's Colorado, though. Right?
But yeah, usually during the day it gets warmer here. It probably will warm up yet. It's pretty early. You know, we had to be here at 5:30 because the bite's at 5:30. First fish was like 10 to 7.
Another one?
Yeah, oh, there we go. I don't think it's as big as the last one. Well, you know, I got this little Series 1 rod, and it's just perfect for this kind of stuff. It's so much fun to fight them with.
It's not a bad fish.
That's just another solid fish. You know, the kind that when I was fishing a tournament, I'd have killed for a stringer of.
Absolutely.
There's been
No
many.
doubt there.
Yeah, that's probably every bit as big as that last one, like its twin. And I still got the worm in this one.
Oh boy.
He's got it down there. Well, I'll tell you what, he got it kind of deep, so we broke the line. We're gonna leave the hook in them, but another solid, chunky, fat fish. Boy, they're nice and healthy. Look at, it's kind of like me, short, big belly. I fail to see the humor in that.
You said it.
We could have been friends. It obviously isn't going to work out. You see, some of these tournament guys are okay once you get them off this, once you get them to loosen up. Well, I want to remind you that I'm kicking your butt.
That's 2-0. You're absolutely right, but you know what? It's a long day.
And around here, even the lakes I used to fish a lot, with water level fluctuations and changes, you just can't stay on top of the fish. You just got to go and hope. Use your best knowledge to try to find them is all.
Yeah, the water out here, it drops 5 vertical feet and it's a whole different lake. Half of the stuff you normally fish is high and dry, and you got to go find other
that's
stuff.
true of all western reservoirs.
Right.
There we go. Another one, by the way, while you're digging your lure out. He told me that's the best brush pile in the bay. Well, he was stuck in another one, so I cast over his shoulder. He's been front ending me all day, but I've been overcoming it.
Oh, wow. Relentless.
This one's smaller than the other ones, though. You know, I gotta take this while I can, because trust me, if he starts catching up, I'll hear it.
And that will happen. Sooner or later. They really like that bait.
Yeah, they do. They're getting it deep, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think I can get this one, though. Yeah, I got it. It's not quite as big as the others, but good, healthy males cruising. We're probably a little bit post-spawn.
Yeah, in
And
this
these-
part of the lake.
And these males are cruising, and but they're really nice, healthy fish for a post-spawn fish or a fish that's been guarding a bed, because they're usually not eating that much, and they're doing well. I'll let you go grow up. I lost track.
Oh, 3.
Oh, okay. And how many for you?
It's still one hand.
You know,
When you get above 5.
I got to stop right now, because things could turn around. He could nail 3, 4 fish, and I could be behind that quick. But boy, it feels good right now. But you know what? It's amazing how fishing goes like that. I mean, we were at Table Rock. You were kicking me. I couldn't buy a fish that day. There was no way in the world, you know. And you know what happens? We both have favorite baits,
Right.
and things that we like to use. And I'm as bad as anybody about being hesitant to change from my confidence lures, even when I'm not catching fish.
Right.
And at Table Rock, I tried fishing some other things and beat it to death. Now I'm fishing a new lure today, and it seems to be working. It's a pumpkin seed 4-inch worm, and I tell you, it's got a weird feel to it.
Well, it's not rubber.
No, and
It's all food,
it's just
biodegradable.
it's really a different feel to it, but it sure is working. Well, I think I'll back off a little bit so you don't feel bad.
I appreciate that.
There we go. You know, I'm not counting.
You're
Oh,
smoking.
no. This one wrapped me up. I might lose him. He wrapped me up.
Well, they go down in those weed beds. And get that nose down, and it's
There,
over.
he's out. He's out. It feels like a better fish. Boy, the fishing with these light line. That's a good solid fat fish.
There you go.
Boy, this one is built just like me. It's not very long, but you should see the belly on it. I'm trying to lose him here. He's just barely hooked. And I'm trying to be nice to him.
That's a better fish. Now that's an average, that's actually pretty close to average for this lake.
And look at that hook set right in the bone. Why was I worried? Perfect hook set. But look at the belly on that fish. For a fish that's just come off the beds, I mean, they're eating good. The forage must still be decent in this lake. He's a little beat up. You can tell he's been on the bed. Solid Quincy Lake bass. Troy, how many is that?
That would be number 4. But that's the first decent fish you've caught, so.
Oh, they've all been good. No, that's a nice, you know what? That's anywhere you fish, that's a good, solid, healthy fish that anybody'd be happy to catch.
You're right.
I notice he's changing baits on me now here, see? He's going something closer to what I'm using. He chewed this up.
Yeah.
But you know what? I want to thank you for
won't
setting
share
this
with
up.
me.
I would share with you. You never asked. We're having a good time though.
We are.
All right. It's probably not as big as the ones I've been catching, but at least you're on the board now.
Well, I had to switch to your bait. That was the key.
Did you take one of my baits?
You don't know, do you?
No, I don't. No, you got your own bait.
It's the same idea, though.
Same idea, though. Yep, small little 4-inch finesse type worm. Okay, there you got it.
There he is. Just another average fish.
I'll tell you what, healthy, good fish though.
Boy, he got it good too.
Yeah.
Wanted that bait.
Good hook set. There we go.
There he is.
You know, it's just, what's that? You know, in all honesty, we've been giving you a hard time, but it's not 8 o'clock in the morning yet. We've been fishing for about 2 hours. We've already got 5 solid bass like that. There's been lots of days I fished and wished I would have got 5 solid bass like that in a day, much less than 2 hours. And we're in an urban fishery that it's a weekday, so we're not as crowded. But this weekend, these fish were getting just pounded.
Right.
And yet, a couple days later, by coming and finding the right presentation and working a little bit, we're still able to put numbers of quality fish in the boat. Quincy Reservoir, it's in Aurora, Colorado. It's right in downtown. Well, it's right in the middle of town. I mean, we're right. There's houses surrounding us. You drive, you get off the road. You drive right by. It's like hundreds of cars go by every day, and there's lots of people fishing. And the other thing about this lake, it's a diverse fishery.
Correct.
This lake has not only the bass, which for some reason we're fishing for today. I don't know if it's because we're with a tournament bass guy or not, and that's all he can concentrate on. But the state record muskie came out of here. In fact, if we get a chance, we'll show you a picture of that.
We've got a lot of trout in here.
A lot of trout and some nice trout, and a good population of yellow perch.
Big yellow perch. There are 14-inch perch in this lake.
And I tell you what, it's a place where kids can drive up on their bikes and fish from shore. It's a place where guys can run after work and fish. It's just a fishery that anglers of all levels of experience can come, have some fun, and catch some fish.
Right.
Okay, what we're doing is we've spotted a fish on a bed. Troy's going to cast out. We already cast him once, picked the bait out, and carried it out. Came around the other side of the bed. He's watching the fish react to his lure as he works it into the bed. And we're hoping that it isn't a feeding bite. What happens, this fish is locked onto its bed and it's guarding the bed. So it's going to see that lure as an intruder into the bed and try to pick it up and carry it away, and that's when you have to set the hook.
Well, on every bed there's what's called a sweet spot. And that's just a place on the bed that for some reason, whether that's where the eggs are, or just something about the sweet spot that sets that fish off. And the key to catching these fish is finding the sweet spot and putting your bait right on it without spooking them in the process. So you can see how close we are to him, and he's just sitting there. He's not wanting to leave.
Well, you'll get some fish that as soon as you cast will move off the bed because they're not locked in, and those fish are very hard to catch. They'll swim away. This fish keeps coming back to the bed and protecting it, so you know it's locked on.
So you can see him when he turns sideways, though. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's a real aggressive posture. He puffs out his gill plates, puts his fins out like this, turns up on his side. That way he shows his size,
Yeah.
trying to scare the bait away. It's just he doesn't want to eat it. He wants to scare it away.
All right. You know, you worked hard and long for that fish, so don't lose it now. It just shows you the persistence when you're bed fishing, that when you know the fish is hot, knowing the difference between a catchable fish and one that isn't. It's another nice solid fish. Tore up your tube.
Yes, he did. Come on, fishy.
Let's get up here and show that fish to the people. Then I want to kind of show them how you rig that.
Okay. Boy, he was hooked good too, right through the bony part of the mouth.
Good hook set. Almost looked like one of my hook sets.
Almost. Not quite good enough.
You know, look at, I mean, these fish, just the solid shoulders on them and the belly. These are male fish. They're guarding the nest.
Yes.
And, you know, and they're just solid, well-fed fish for fish on the nest. I mean, really impressive fish.
Got some shoulders on him.
Yep, that's just
Okay, we'll let him go back to his bed.
table here.
Yeah, this is called a lucky rig. Some people call it a lucky rig. It's a modified drop shot is all it is. The reason I chose a white tube, just to help me see the bait better. When you get an aggressive fish on a bed, it really doesn't matter. I'll throw hot pink at him, I'll throw white.
Something you can see.
Something I can see.
Because you want to see that bait, you want to see it's in the nest, you want to see them reacting to it.
That's correct.
When he talks about a drop shot rig is one that has the weight below the hook. You tie polymer on the hook. What made this modified is you have a heavier weight than what you'd...
Correct. A heavier weight
and a bigger hook.
And a much shorter leader.
Right.
And the reason you use a very short leader, that's only about a 5, maybe a 6-inch leader. And actually that's kind of long for this kind of fishing.
Right.
But what you want to do is you want that bait. You're only fishing in about 2 and 3 foot of water, and the bass is on the bottom protecting his bed. And you just want that bait to be in the fish's face the whole time.
I'm not hooking this properly necessarily, but I just want to get them on there.
Sure.
Because it's kind of tore up, to give you an idea. And in the water, this floats up a little more.
Right. So this is anchored on the bottom. And then what you do is you get this anchor in the good spot of the bed, the part that he's protecting the most. And then the reason you use such a heavy weight is because you want that to stay there. And then you just shake your rod tip, and it just does that in the fish's face, and they can't stand it.
It just aggravates them.
It does.
Because they're in there guarding that bed. Now,
It does.
if that fish wouldn't have been locked on the bed, you wouldn't have been able to do that.
Correct.
He would have just swam away until you removed the bait.
Right.
But because of the previous cast, the way he reacted to the bait, you knew he was locked on and catchable, so it was worth the time. He didn't have this rigged up, but he knew it was worth the time to spend some time on this fish.
Right.
You know, and in urban fisheries and fisheries that are pressured, picking up these tips, taking the time, learning to trigger a fish sometimes makes the difference between catching fish and no fish.
Right, right.
It really does. Well, Troy, it's 1:30 in the afternoon. Got me up in the middle of the night to come out here. We did catch fish early, fairly early though. We didn't really seriously get fishing till 6. We thought it'd be a different kind of bite.
Yeah, we did.
We thought it'd be more of a surface bite early. That never materialized. You did get one fish on a buzzbait, but we never got that early surface bite.
Right.
Then we started just working the area, waiting for the sun to really come up so that we could see to sight fish. But we caught a lot of fish, but you said it was slow today.
It was very slow. We just we were competing with the weather, planning on doing a lot of bed fishing today, and we had wind and clouds, which really impeded our ability to see the bedding fish. And this morning it was just kind of cold and pretty much miserable, so that kind of shut off the topwater bite. But we caught some good fish.
For June, it was a cool day, and we didn't get the fishing we expected. But still, even though we didn't catch a huge fish, we caught probably a dozen largemouth, a couple trout. We were out here 6 hours. I mean, Lots of days I've driven a lot further than going right in town to catch, you know, that many fish, and some nice quality largemouth.
Yeah, they were all pretty much quality. There were a few that were probably under 15 inches, but I'd say at least half of them were 3-pound fish.
Yeah, it was actually a terrific day. You know, it just shows you, folks, under any conditions, there's a tremendous amount of fishing available right in these urban fisheries. So you need to get out and try it. You know, don't not go fishing because you haven't got time to drive up in the mountains or out to Kansas or down to some faraway lake. Get out, fish these urban fisheries, enjoy them, take advantage of it. Fish lakes like Quincy, we're on today in Aurora. You know, just have a good time and join us next week on Mountain States Fishing. Isn't that what all worked?
Yeah. Let's see, you guys showed up. The fish saw y'all coming. They said, oh, they got the camera. So we can't be doing what we're supposed to be doing.